Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, I am very excited to be continuing my series of GARMADON comic reviews by taking a look at GARMADON issue 4, which was just released as of the time of recording this video. Obviously, I have covered the other 3 issues of the GARMADON comic that have been made available so far, and once again, if you guys have not read this series, I would highly recommend it. This series is canon to the Ninjago timeline taking place after Ninjago March of the Oni, and it explores what exactly happened to GARMADON, where he went, and what he's dealing with. And in issue number 4 right here, I want to give my thoughts as to how that storyline is explored even further, and what exactly happens to GARMADON's character this go around. Because honestly, some pretty big stuff happens, and I want to get into my thoughts on it. So just diving on into things quick, again, just a very casual, laid-back discussion here. The last chapter was very much Mogra heavy. Mogra, of course, being the main antagonist of this entire series, opposite GARMADON. And like I said, the last chapter was very much his own. We do get some Mogra focus in this chapter as well, but the majority of the chapter is dedicated to GARMADON and his inner turmoil, his inner feelings of struggle, if you will. As I've said though, we do get some flashbacks with Mogra, especially during the Serpentine War, where it's revealed that Mogra was in fact a fellow student of Chen, alongside characters like Klaus and GARMADON himself. And this chapter goes on to explore GARMADON's emotions towards the Lord Mogra character, and also explain who exactly he is. Speaking of the relationships between GARMADON and other characters, his relationship with Wu is also touched on during a series of flashbacks. The flashbacks show GARMADON giving into his evil influences, even one time considering to side with Mogra and Chen until Wu was there to back him up and save him from making that decision. And like I said, the flashbacks are all fine and dandy, but ultimately the chapter itself is asking GARMADON as to whether or not his decisions are his own. Being bitten by the Devourer as a child definitely was not his choice, but everything that came after, was that GARMADON consciously making decisions for good? Or evil for that matter? What exactly is GARMADON's allegiance? Who does he side with? How does he see himself? All of that is beautifully explored here, and again, the writing of these comics is just top notch. The writing is able to show how GARMADON is struggling within himself, and that evil shadow GARMADON that's been following him around this entire time, that could represent all kinds of things. His insecurity, his inability to decide who he is. There's a cool scene where GARMADON reflects into his past and literally talks with his former self. His former self questions him. What exactly does he want? GARMADON doesn't really know. He's completely hesitant to continue his journey, and there's also a question to be asked if the evil path that GARMADON was on, is that path over now, or is it just beginning? The comic itself questions GARMADON's motives quite a bit, and I just love how that works for his character. And finally, this chapter ends with GARMADON unlocking something new. What exactly this new power is, we're just gonna have to wait and see. If it's some type of physical new power, if it's some type of mental victory over his former self and his doubts. Again though, the comic's main priority is to describe how GARMADON is feeling, venture into his inner thoughts, his turmoil, his struggle, and I just love overall how that was presented here. In terms of other things that happen in this comic, I mean sure, Mogra overthrows the village finally, and the villagers themselves team up for some type of final throwdown, and the ending of this comic features GARMADON, again, coming to terms with something, taking into account what Mogra is doing, what the villagers are doing, and obviously what GARMADON is doing. The series itself seems like it's setting up for one big final battle. In terms of other things going on here during chapter 4, again, the artwork is fantastic as always, the characterization is just as good if not better than other chapters, and overall the GARMADON comic still continues to be awesome. Again, if you guys have not read this comic just yet, I would totally recommend reading it, especially with this issue right here, because there's a lot of really cool things that happen in this issue specifically. The excellent writing and storytelling here are making sure that Ninjago fans are getting their money's worth when they read this comic. And once again, I look forward to the next issue of the GARMADON comic, because this one was honestly my favorite one so far. With that being said, you guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for today's video. Just wanted to go over chapter 4 or issue 4 of the GARMADON solo comic series. Once again, this series is amazing. Please read it if you haven't done so just yet. I usually buy the digital versions on Amazon, so yeah, you could do that if you so desire. But I would totally recommend just reading these comics. They are so worth it at the end of the day. And hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, just me sharing my thoughts on GARMADON issue 4. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Peace.